Stop for 5 seconds. Don't scroll. My child, you are next. If this reaches you at the right time, say, God is good out loud and breathe with me. In for 4, hold, out for 6. Again. I have watched the steps you take when no one is looking, the restraint you practice when words could wound, the cups of water you hand to people who forget to thank you. None of it is lost on me. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. This moment is not random. This is an appointment. 2 messengers have already gone ahead to prepare a path you could not force open with strength or strategy. You will feel the change in the air, like the stillness before rain, like a door hinge catching light. You are not late. You are right on time for what I have written across the quiet pages of your days. You will notice signs, some subtle, some sweeping, but do not turn signs into gods. Ask me for discernment and I will give it. A sign is a pointer, not a destination. When peace settles in your chest while noise rages around you, pay attention. When a conversation you didn't plan becomes a doorway, step through with gentleness. Write what you see. Keep what feels like truth and test what glitters, because pride can turn even a blessing into a snare. This season is not about collecting dramatic moments. It is about learning to walk steadily while I arrange what you cannot. Put your house in order, not because chaos scares me, but because order is the canvas where my work becomes visible. Give what you can give. Pay what you can pay. Apologize where needed. Clear the table of distractions that steal hours and leave you empty. Clean hands and an open heart. These are simple, sacred tools. Let love be your test. If what you experience makes you hard, self-centered, and hungry for applause, it is not from me. If it makes you humble, generous, and more attentive to the poor and the overlooked, it is from me. Surrender is not losing yourself. Surrender is finding your true self in me. I may ask you to lay down comforts that quietly stole your courage, routines that disguised your fear, habits that drained your strength. Give them with thanks so new gifts can breathe. Do not hurry the inner work. Roots take time. You wouldn't rip a plant from the soil to make it grow faster. Don't rip your soul from its slow lessons. When impatience rises, remember, I am patient and precise, working from the inside out. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. You will be drawn into small acts that become bridges to greater works. A text you send and almost delete, a cup of coffee with someone your schedule told you to avoid, a quiet yes that feels too simple to matter. This is how I build. Steady hands, faithful feet, ordinary courage, repeated until it becomes a path. I will put before you people who resist and people who receive. Treat both with compassion. Some see the world through wounds. You are not called to fix them all, only to be a steady light that refuses to hate. Speak truth with kindness. Stay when it would be easier to perform and leave. If this word meets you right now, let peace keep finding you. Open your heart to it daily and let it settle the room. You wonder why some are chosen for certain work and others are not. Listen gently. I place lives where they fit the need. A carpenter's hands are not greater than a poet's heart. A mother's long day is not less than a leader's brief spotlight. I look at the shape of a life, the scars, the small loyalties, the quiet temperaments, the faithful irritations, and I see how these pieces answer a particular need in time. Fit, not favoritism. Some sow now, others harvest later. Both are holy. Many decisive acts occur in quiet hands. A nurse's midnight shift, a father's patient listening, a friend's refusal to gossip. I distribute gifts so community becomes necessary. No one carries every ability because no one is meant to live alone. Covenant and trust grow over years. When I place someone in a line of responsibility, I am often honoring earlier faithfulness whispered in rooms no one filmed. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. Waiting is also work. Use it well. Strengthen the muscles of attention, mercy, restraint, and joyful persistence. When others are lifted, don't be surly. Your time has its sacred pacing. Do not confuse busyness with progress. Your culture praises hustle, but I praise fidelity. Ask yourself at day's end, did I love today? Did I reflect God's heart in anyone's life? If yes, you are moving exactly as fast as grace intends. Keep a record of this season. Memory can blur when many things happen. A simple notebook turns storms into stories and prevents doubt from rewriting the past. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Integrity is the foundation that holds the house I will build through you. Guard your health. Sleep, eat, breathe, be still. Rest is not laziness. Rest is alignment. When I rested, I taught rhythm. Do not make your body a burnt offering to tasks I never assigned. Opposition will come. Fear, malice, misunderstanding. Let it teach you where to place boundaries without turning your heart to stone. Recount lessons, not losses. Keep your eyes on the ones who find hope in your presence. You will be met by joy, not earned, given. It will sneak up on you in a song, a child's laugh, a window of golden light across a messy room. Receive it as fuel, not as proof that pain is gone forever. Joy is a seal of favor, a reminder that I am near. I will reveal a simple seal for this season, a phrase, a thread of color, a humble symbol. When you feel stuck, return to it and breathe. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. You ask about doors. Some open because I placed you at an intersection of relationships, people, places, resources that align for a moment like planets in a night sky. That is not token preference. That is logistical grace. Bridges are not monuments. They're built to cross a particular distance at a needed time. Honor the bridge keeper when you meet them. And if you are not the one chosen for a public task, you are not unloved. Some of the most world-shaping work comes from unseen hands. Those who mend, who teach one restless child for a lifetime, who keep a home steady through illness, who pray consistently when headlines forget. Do not measure your worth by the size of your platform. Measure it by the steadiness of your love. I will give you openings disguised as interruptions, a schedule change, a delayed bus, a neighbor at the gate. Ask 2 questions. Does this align with the calling in me? Can I serve without losing integrity? If yes, step through. If no, bless and release. Trust me with the timing, the how, and the who. I'm not a spectator to your life. I am its composer. My tempo may slow when you want speed, and it may quicken when you prefer the safety of a lullaby. Walk with me and learn the rhythm. When praise comes, don't let it change your purpose. Remember where the gift came from. Speak less about your plan and more about what I am doing. Tell stories of mercy, not self-glory. People recognize authenticity the way a hungry traveler recognizes bread. If you feel disqualified by your past, hear me. I am more interested in your next right step than in your last wrong turn. Repentance is not a single event. It is a way of returning. When you return, I do not meet you to reprimand, but to renew. Believe in second chances. I am not counting your missteps to disqualify you. I'm counting the ways your wounds can become windows other people look through without breaking. A scar refined by grace becomes a mirror that says, you are not alone. This is why those who endured particular sorrows are sometimes the ones I send to bind those very wounds in others. The economy of grace is not sameness, it is faithfulness. They give each what they need to fulfill the calling before them. Now breathe again, in for 4. Hold out for 6. Say with me, I choose faith over fear. I choose peace over panic. I choose obedience over applause. In the next 33 days I am with you. Choose faith over fear. If this arrives exactly when you needed it, let peace keep finding you daily. Let it rest on your mind like a hand upon a storm. Share kindnesses, not scorecards. Give without keeping ledger. I am the watcher who balances what you cannot see. When you sow quietly, you will reap in ways you did not predict. Do not pull at fruit that is not ripe. Protect the roots and the tree will carry you into harvest. There will be critics. Receive good counsel, ignore mockery, and let discernment guide your steps. Not every voice deserves a seat at your table. Invite mentors who tell you the truth without enjoying your pain. Friends who pray before they advise, and even critics whose questions sharpen your humility. Guard your tongue. Bless more than you explain. Sometimes the loudest obedience is silence. Sometimes the bravest obedience is to speak. I will teach you the difference if you keep walking with me. When your heart grows tired, remember the seal of this season. Touch it, whisper it, sing it under your breath if needed. You are beloved beyond your usefulness. This truth frees you from envy and despair. My affection does not expand or shrink with the visibility of your assignment. Selection for a task is not greater love. It is different stewardship. Whether you carry a public mantle or a private vocation, you are mine, and I am with you. Lift your eyes from comparison. Celebrate when others are lifted. You are not losing your place. You are learning the choreography of a kingdom where every honest act of love matters infinitely. If this word settled your spirit, let it continue to reach you. When you feel the nudge, whisper, "I receive," and allow that simple prayer to anchor you in storms and in quiet rooms alike. If peace visited your home while you listened, keep it close. Open your heart to it again tomorrow. And if someone you love is restless, send this to them as a cup of water for their road. You do not have to push them. Simply place the cup within reach. Before you go, breathe one last time with me. In for 4. Hold out for 6. May peace settle on your mind, on your body, and on your home. May discernment sharpen your steps. May joy meet you in ordinary places as a seal of favor. I bless your next conversation, your work of today, your rest tonight. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. Now go and love where you are. Serve with your gifts. Learn when you are tested, and celebrate when others are lifted. Be a faithful neighbor to the chosen and the unnoticed alike. The door ahead is catching light. Open it now before it passes you by. You ask, why me? Because I saw the way you carried small loyalties when no one watched. Because I know the shape of your scars and how they can become windows others look through without breaking. Because I fit lives to needs. This is not favoritism, it is wisdom. A carpenter's hands are not greater than a poet's heart. A mother's long day is not less than a leader's short stage. I place what will serve the good at the right moment. Fit not fame, some sow now, others harvest later. Sowers are not inferior to harvesters, and harvesters are not superior to sowers. The field knows each hand and sings differently under each touch. A nurse who steadies a trembling arm at 3 a.m. A teacher who calls the quiet child by name. A friend who refuses to repeat a rumor. A neighbor who notices when a light stays off too long. These are world-shaping acts that rarely trend. I distribute gifts so community becomes necessary. No one receives every ability because no one is meant to live alone. Interdependence is a design, not a defect. The beauty of a body is its differences moving as one. Covenant matters. Trust compounds over years. When I place someone in a line of responsibility, I often honor the prayers of grandparents, the integrity of small choices, the promises whispered in rooms that never made a headline. This is not nostalgia. It is the logic of love. Faithfulness threads through time like a root that holds the hill when storms pry at the trees. Do not envy the visible mantle if you have been given the quiet root. Hills fall when roots fail. If you are not chosen for a public task, you are not unloved. The world is held together by faithful hands no camera sees. The caretaker who turns the key at dawn. The daughter who brings soup and listens to stories she has heard 100 times. The volunteer who sets chairs and prays over every seat. The worker who refuses to cheat the ledger when no one is counting. Heaven counts differently than billboards do. Openings will arrive disguised as interruptions. A schedule shift, a delay, a face you did not plan to meet, a phone call you nearly ignored. Ask 2 questions at the threshold. Does this align with the calling I planted in me? Can I serve here without breaking integrity? If yes, step through. If no, bless and release. Not every need is your assignment. Your compassion is large. Your calendar is not. You must learn the sacred art of not mine, so you can be faithful to what is yours. I will teach you to speak less about your plan and more about what I'm doing. Tell stories of mercy, not self-glory. People recognize authenticity the way a hungry traveler recognizes bread. Boasting makes the room smaller. Testimony opens a window. Pay attention to tone. Truth without kindness becomes a hammer. Kindness without truth becomes syrup. You will learn to hold both like reins in steady hands. Guard your tongue. Where possible, bless more than you explain. Silence is not cowardice when it protects dignity. But do not use silence to avoid necessary courage. Sometimes the loudest obedience is silence. Sometimes the bravest obedience is to speak. I will show you which is which in each hour if you keep walking with me. When you must speak, let your sentences be clean and your aim be healing. If you cannot heal, at least do not harm. Comparison will tempt you daily. Refuse its bait. It is possible to celebrate another's rise without subtracting from your worth. When others are lifted, do not be surly. Your time carries sacred pacing. I'm not withholding from you. I am building you. Envy shrinks rooms. Celebration enlarges them until more people can breathe. Practice praying for those you want to envy. Bless their work. Ask for their protection. Rejoice in their fruit. Your heart will stretch until it stops tearing when others are praised. Practice waiting as labor rather than limbo. Use the in-between to build the muscles you will need when doors swing wide. Attention that sees tiny mercies. Mercy that refuses to keep score. Restraint that turns away from cheap victories. Joyful persistence that finishes what it starts. Strengthen your yes. Strengthen your no. Both are doors. Both require hinges that don't squeak with guilt. Remember the seal of this season. Keep it near. A phrase, a color, a humble symbol, a single name that keeps returning like a tide. When anxiety rises, hold the seal and breathe until your mind returns from the cliff's edge. When distraction scatters your focus, touch the seal and gather yourself. When opportunity knocks and pressure chants, now or never, let the seal ask its two questions. Does this align with the calling? Can I serve here with integrity intact? There will be critics. Receive good counsel. Ignore mockery and let discernment guide your steps. Not every voice deserves a seat at your table. Invite mentors who tell you the truth without enjoying your pain. Friends who pray before they advise, and even critics whose questions sharpen your humility. Set boundaries without ceremony. You do not need a courtroom to say, this is as far as we go. Now breathe in for 4. Hold out for 6. Say with me, plainly and without drama, I choose faith over fear. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. If this word steadied your hands, let peace keep finding you tomorrow, as surely as morning finds the window. You are not late. You are not lost. You are exactly where grace can reach you quickest. Do not mistake motion for meaning, nor applause for authority. Your culture praises the glare of effort and the theater of urgency. But I praise fidelity, the quiet, deliberate, repeatable faithfulness that holds its shape when no one is watching. Ask at day's end, not did I do enough, but did I love well? If you loved well, you moved at the speed of grace. If you carried peace into a restless room, you walked in step with my spirit. If you told the truth without weaponizing it, you honored me more than 1,000 shouted slogans could. Write this on the doorpost of your mind. Fidelity first, not frenzy. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. Keep a record. Not the proud ledger of a scorekeeper, but a humble journal of witness. Put the date. Name one mercy you noticed, one decision you made, one lesson you are learning. Memories slip when blessings bloom fast, and when battles grind slow. Ink is a tether. When night whispers that morning's hope was a dream, your own handwriting will answer back. Even 3 honest lines can tar the wind of confusion and give you a simple compass for tomorrow. Do not make the practice ornate. Keep it small enough to keep. Holiness loves simple tools. Guard your body. It is not a problem to be solved. It is a gift to be stewarded. Rest is not laziness. Rest is alignment. I rested and taught rhythm. Sleep without apology. Let your nervous system learn the shape of safety again. Eat food that nourishes your strength, not just your speed. Walk outside. Let your eyes touch distance and remind your heart that horizons still exist when screens say the world is a room with no windows. You cannot pour endlessly from a cracked cup. Make mending part of the ministry. Your breath is not a rumor. It is a sacrament. Receive it on purpose. In for 4. Hold out for 6. I'm there even in the exhale. Opposition will come. It will wear the faces of fear, malice, and misunderstanding. Fear will hiss that you must run faster or you will be left behind. Malice will dress up like advice and ask for your soul in polite, efficient increments. Misunderstanding will twist your clean sentences into knots and make you doubt whether the work is worth the effort. Let opposition teach you boundaries without turning your heart to stone. Practice the sentence, "I won't be able to do that," and let it land without an essay of explanation. Your no is a stewardship of your yes. Every time you refuse an assignment I did not sign, you return energy to the work I actually gave you. Recount lessons, not losses. Name what you learned, that your worth is not negotiable in unhealthy rooms, that you can end a conversation without ending kindness, that time does not need to be filled to be faithful. Keep your gaze on the ones who find hope when you enter the room. They are proof that your presence carries medicine. You do not need universal approval to walk in purpose. The light I give you is bright enough for the steps in front of you. It is not a stadium floodlight, and it does not need to be. Walk what you can see, and you will see more. You will be met by joy, not earned given. Joy is not a receipt for work performed. It is a seal of favor, a surprise that arrives like a chord you weren't expecting in a familiar song. You will find it in sunlight across a cluttered table, in a child's off-key hymn that dissolves your afternoon dread, in the ridiculous joke that disarms your grief for an entire minute. Receive joy as fuel, not as proof that pain is over forever. Let joy tutor your nervous system in the possibility of goodness. Let it remind your imagination that not every corridor ends in a locked door. Guard joy from the senses within who insist everything must be earned. Grace is not wages. Grace is weather. Step into it. I will give you a seal for this season, perhaps a phrase that keeps surfacing like a buoy, a thread of color, a humble symbol, a name that refuses to leave your mind. Do not argue with my generosity about its simplicity. Your soul does not need a complex instrument panel. It needs a true north. Put the seal where your eyes will meet it, taped inside a cabinet door, on your phone's lock screen, on a card by the sink where dishes preach your daily liturgy. When confusion raises its volume, touch the seal, breathe, and remember which way the river actually flows. The current of my love does not reverse because storms shout. The river keeps going, and so will you. Community is not an accessory to your calling. It is the context that keeps your calling from curdling into performance. I distribute gifts in ways that force interdependence. No one receives every ability because no one is meant to live alone. The eye cannot despise the hand. The mouth cannot disdain the foot. If I gave you strong words, I placed you near someone with quiet discernment. If I gave you fast ideas, I tethered you to someone with slow wisdom. Resist the fantasy of total self-sufficiency. It is an idol with expensive upkeep and no grace. Ask for help like a person who knows they are loved, not like a debtor begging for another loan. Receive help without smuggling shame into the exchange. I set the table. Eat. Practice the holy choreography of giving and receiving. Give without keeping score. Receive without writing an invoice in your chest. When you give, do it as if you are passing water to a runner mid-race, quick, glad, uncomplicated. When you receive, do it as if the cup was for you all along. The kingdom is not a marketplace of favors. It is a household where resources move to need at the speed of trust. Let your hands be open. If you keep them clenched around your worth, you will never have room to carry the next assignment. Do not confuse visibility with value. 1,000 quiet acts will never trend, and yet they are the scaffolding under victories that do. The janitor who turns a key at dawn and prays over a corridor. The counselor who keeps secrets safe so healing can speak without fear of publication. The friend who texts, "I'm outside," and means it. The caregiver who picks up prescriptions and groceries for someone who doesn't have the strength to ask. These are beams in the house of goodness, and I see every nail. When I count greatness, I do not count cameras. I count fidelity. Honor the limits that make you human. They are not flaws. They are frames. Time and attention are doors with hinges that must be oiled by Sabbath. Close the laptop. Put the phone down. Walk without a destination. Let boredom teach you how to hear birds again. The oxygen of wonder is not optional. Without it, your imagination will inhale only bad news and exhale only panic. Wonder is not escape. It is perspective. Look at the moon and remember that your problem is real and still not sovereign. When praise comes, do not let it change your purpose. Compliments are weather. Do not build a house out of them. Remember where the gift came from and keep your hands clean. Tell stories of mercy more than stories of mastery. People trust testimonies that humble the teller. If you stand on a platform, stand like someone who remembers how it felt to be seated in the last row, wondering if anyone in the pulpit had ever carried a lunch pail or a diagnosis or a disconnection notice. Speak from there. Speak with bread in your voice. I will teach you the two simple questions that clarify 90% of your decisions. Does this align with the calling I planted in me? Can I serve here without breaking integrity? Ask them at job offers and kitchen sinks, in boardrooms and back seats, when the text arrives and when the chance to retaliate shines like a knife. If the answer is no, release it. If the answer is yes, step through with both feet. Half measures multiply anxiety. Wholehearted steps gather strength. The critics will not disappear. Do not build your house in their mouths. Some will mock to feel tall. Some will misunderstand because you chose clarity over their comfort. Some will be sincere and still wrong about what you must do. Receive good counsel, ignore mockery, and let discernment set your table. Not every voice deserves a chair. Invite mentors who tell you truth without enjoying your pain. Keep friends who pray before they advise. Let even your detractors tutor your humility without renting them the spare room of your imagination. When offense comes knocking, let curiosity answer the door before anger does. Ask, what did I not see? Ask, what needs are hiding inside this noise? Curiosity cannot be manipulated as easily as outrage can. Outrage burns clean oxygen. Curiosity opens windows. Let kindness be your default posture and boundaries be your firm frame. Kindness without boundaries is a flood. Boundaries without kindness are a desert. You were not made for either extreme. You were made for a garden. Keep sowing in small, faithful rows. Do not despise the day of incremental grace. The field remembers. A daily call to your father. A weekly note to your child's teacher. A standing hour when you turn the phone off and read a single page that deepens your roots. A monthly budget meeting where honesty is the first line item. These are seeds and the rain is scheduled, trust me. Stop digging up what you planted to see if it is growing. Put your ear to the ground. Listen to the quiet labor of roots. Growth is not loud and often not visible. Until it is, practice the liturgy of thresholds. At doorways, pause. Whisper, peace to this room. Enter with your shoulders lowered. At your desk, before your hands touch keys, pray, let truth serve love here. On your commute, stretch your palms open on your lap and say, nothing to prove, only work to do. At your bed, when night turns the ceiling into a canvas for worry, breathe in for 4. Hold it out for 6 and tell your body the truth. We're safe. God is here. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Integrity is a foundation that doesn't sway when crosswinds come. Promise small enough to keep and strong enough to matter. It is better to carry one brick to the wall each day than to gesture at a cathedral you never build. Consistency is slow courage. When you miss a day, return without ceremony. Guilt is a poor motivator and a terrible architect. Grace wastes no time on shame speeches. It puts the brick back in your hands. You will hear the whisper of too late. Refuse it. You are not late. You are not lost. You are exactly where grace can reach you quickest. When the ache says you have wasted too much time, answer it with a single act of fidelity. Call the person, send the email, fold the shirt, pray the honest sentence. Begin again, not to earn worth, but to express it. Worth is settled. Effort is response, not currency. When your courage thins, borrow mine. Say it out loud, even in the kitchen, even in a stairwell, even in a car at a red light when no one knows you're speaking. In the next 33 days, I'm with you. Choose faith over fear. Let the sentence land like a stone in a lake. Watch the rings widen. Feel the nervous system learn a different tide. You are not negotiating with a distant bureaucracy. You are conversing with your own maker. I do not run out of time or attention. I am not rationing presence. If you feel unqualified, hear me clearly. I am more interested in your next right step than in your last wrong turn. Repentance is not a courtroom where you wait for a verdict. It's a home where you keep coming back until your shoes know the path by heart. I meet you to renew, not to humiliate. I'm not tallying your missteps to disqualify you. I'm turning your wounds into windows. Others will look through your healed places and see their own possibility. Lift your eyes. The door ahead is catching light. You cannot wrench it open faster by anxious pulling, but you can be ready when it swings. Ready looks like a cleared table, a rested mind, a steady yes, a clean no, a notebook with 3 honest lines, a body that remembers a walk, a heart that has practiced blessing a rival by name. Ready looks like forgiveness rehearsed in advance, so that when the offense arrives, your decision outruns your anger. Ready looks like oil in the lamp, not explanations about why you didn't have time to buy any. Before you step through, breathe with me. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Let the exhale carry out the panic you do not need for the path ahead. Whisper the sentence we have stitched into these days, not as a charm, but as a choice. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. Now go where you are sent and stay where you are placed. Work with quiet hands. Tell the truth like bread. Rest like someone who knows they are loved. And when joy knocks, open the door without demanding to see its papers. Wait on purpose, not by accident. Waiting is not the empty lobby between real rooms. It is a workshop with the lights on and the tools laid out. If you call waiting nothing, you will miss the assignments that sharpen you for everything. If you call waiting punishment, you will sit in the corner while courage is being fitted to your size. Call waiting by its right name, formation. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. Begin the labor of waiting with breath. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Tell your body the truth. We are not late. We are learning. Make a simple rule for this season. Before you touch your tasks, touch your heart. Ask one quiet question. What does love require of me today? Receive one answer, not 10. Carry that answer like a lantern you refuse to drop when the corridor darkens. When panic shouts for a map of the whole city, hold up your small light and take the next honest step. Waiting on purpose chooses formation over performance. Formation builds the muscles you will need when doors swing open. Build attention that sees tiny mercies. Build mercy that refuses to keep score. Build restraint that saves you from cheap victories. Build joyful persistence that turns consistency into quiet courage. Practice these until they become like breathing. Put them on your calendar as you would a meeting. 20 minutes to read a page that thickens your roots. 10 minutes to pray for 5 people without telling them you did. 5 minutes to step outside and remember the horizon exists when screens insist it doesn't. Small repetitions rewrite the nervous system. The soul learns by liturgy more than by lecture. Honor the liturgy of thresholds. At the kitchen doorway, pause and whisper, "Peace to this room." At your desk, touch your keyboard like an altar and pray, "Let truth serve love here." In the hallway before a conversation, open your hands and say, "Nothing to prove, only work to do." The world trains you to sprint through portals. I train you to enter rooms as a peacemaker whose presence lowers the ceiling fan of anxiety. Do not underestimate what a regulated presence can do. Still water reflects more sky. Waiting is also the grammar of hope. Hope is not denial of the dark. Hope is confidence in a dawn that you cannot manufacture but can prepare for. Preparation is not panic in a prettier outfit. Preparation is the cleared table, the trimmed lamp, the oil ready, the sentence rehearsed for forgiveness before offense arrives, the budget shaped around integrity before pressure comes. Preparation is the bag by the door that holds compassion, boundaries, and a clean yes. Preparation is a journal with 3 honest lines from yesterday, so that today does not have to re-argue what was already learned. Guard your inputs in a waiting season. Not every voice deserves a seat at your table. Invite counselors who tell you truth without enjoying your pain. Keep friends who pray before they advise. Let critics who sharpen your humility stand outside the door. Receive their questions through the window of discernment, not from the head of your bed. Do not build a house in the mouths of your detractors. If you feed on mockery, you will starve your courage. If you feed on constant outrage, you will be allergic to peace. Curate your diet like someone who plans to live long enough to bless grandchildren whose names you do not yet know. Practice 3 sentences that save your soul hours of repair. I don't know yet. I won't be able to do that. Let me think and pray before I answer. These are not evasions. They are guardrails. Anxiety demands instant performance. Wisdom asks for rhythm. When you say, I don't know yet, you give the mind permission to research instead of pretend. When you say, I won't be able to do that, you return your energy to your actual assignment. When you say, let me think and pray, you refuse the roulette wheel of pressured decisions. Remember, your calendar is not infinite. Your compassion is large. Your clock is not. Saying not mine is not disobedience. It is obedience to the work that is. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. Stagnant water goes foul because it is cut off from source and outlet. Holy stillness remains clear because it receives and releases. Receive truth in quiet. Release kindness in action. Receive correction without humiliation, release gratitude without performance. Receive rest as alignment, release work as worship. If you keep receiving and never releasing, you will become swollen with intentions. If you keep releasing and never receiving, you will become brittle with exhaustion. Let me set the cadence. Receive, release, like breath. Integrate forgiveness into the architecture of your waiting. Unforgiveness is expensive to heat and cool. It leaks energy from every window. Forgiveness is not permission for harm. Forgiveness is a refusal to rent your interior to yesterday's vandalism. Forgive in the order I give you grace, daily bread, daily mercy. When the offense knocks again, treat it like a delivery you did not order. Say, return to sender. Return the package as many times as it arrives. You are not being cruel. You are protecting the room where joy sleeps. Integrity is the scaffolding that keeps your waiting from collapsing into wishful thinking. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Promise small enough to keep and sturdy enough to matter. If you miss a day, do not make a documentary about your failure. Return without ceremony. Shame wants swelling monologues. Grace offers simple returns. Put the brick back in your hand. Lay it on the wall. Little by little is not a loophole. It is a law of love. Because you are waiting, I will send rehearsals disguised as errands, a phone call you nearly ignore, a message that feels like nothing and becomes something, a chance to give in secret when applause would have been easy. Rehearse the posture you will need when it is bigger. Humility that says, thank you, instead of finally. Generosity that gives without a ledger. Courage that holds eye contact with fear and decides anyway. If you scorn the rehearsal, you will stumble under the costume of the play. Respect the small stage. I'm in the balcony and the basement both. Train your tongue for the day of opening. Words make rooms, and rooms have air you will breathe. Speak in ways that oxygenate the people around you. Speak in ways that do not mortgage tomorrow's trust to win today's argument. If you do not know what to say less. Silence is not cowardice when it protects dignity. But do not use silence as camouflage for apathy. When it is time to speak, let your sentences be clean, your aim be healing, your truth be carried by kindness. The world confuses volume with value. I weigh words like seed. Practice gratitude that is specific and small enough to feel. Thank you for the warm mug. Thank you for the neighbor's wave. Thank you for the memory that did not hurt today. Specificity puts handles on hope so you can carry it up the stairs of a hard afternoon. Gratitude will not erase grief. It will give grief a place to sit where it can tell the truth without devouring the room. You are allowed to set a table where sorrow and joy both eat with their elbows off the table. Form covenants in the waiting. Covenant is deeper than a mood and calmer than a trend. Covenant says, I will show up again, and then does. Make covenants with time. Sabbath as a boundary where commerce cannot climb. Make covenants with people. Prayer partners who ask the better questions. Elders whose stories anchor your weather. Make covenants with practices. Weekly generosity that keeps your heart from calcifying. Monthly confession that keeps your heart from hiding. Seasonal retreat that resets your pace when the world's metronome speeds up. Tend your imagination. What you picture is not harmless. It is lumber. Fear furnishes future rooms with furniture you will trip over. Faith furnishes them with chairs where peace can sit. Feed imagination with psalms and parables, with accounts of quiet heroism, with biographies of those who chose fidelity over frenzy. Guard against the algorithm of despair that insists nothing beautiful lasts. What I give lasts in the ways that matter most. Shiny things fade, sturdy things endure. Choose sturdy when envy knocks, and it will meet it with intercession. Pray blessing over the work that pricked your jealousy. Bless their health, their family, their protection, their continuing fruit. This is not self-issue. This is surgery. Envy shrinks rooms until everyone suffocates. Intercession opens windows until everyone can breathe. Your heart will stretch in the right places and stop tearing when others are praised. Build a budget for generosity. Waiting seasons tempt you to hoard as if love might come up short. It will not. Set aside an amount you can give without announcement. Give in cash that no one can trace back. Give a ride. Give a referral. Give your seat. Give a Saturday. Your future self will thank you for the muscle memory of open hands. A closed fist cannot receive. Stay teachable. Ask the triple question, what did I learn? What do I need to unlearn? What do I need to relearn because I forgot under pressure? Pride hates that set. Wisdom loves it. Keep a page titled Revisions, not to shame yesterday's self, but to honor today's sight. Sight improves with use. You will not see everything at once. I am patient and precise. I'm not embarrassed by your learning curve. Practice holy boredom. Put your phone in another room and wash a sink of dishes without music. Fold your shirts like prayer flags. Sweep the floor like a path for mercy. Boredom, approached wisely, becomes the doorway where creativity wanders in with muddy boots and insists on telling a story. If you never leave any silence unstuffed, inspiration will ring your doorbell and hear only television. Leave a margin on the page. The best sentences need space to land. Speak blessings over your future rooms. At the door to your workplace, let truth serve love here. At the door to your child's school, may courage sit in these chairs. At the door to your friend's apartment, peace to this threshold and the feet that cross it. Words are not magic, they are stewardship. Blessing trains your own eyes to look for what you just named. You will become the kind of person who recognizes peace as soon as it enters and refuses to let panic have the loudest microphone. Keep your eyes on the seal I gave for this season. A phrase, a color, a humble symbol. Write it on a card and keep it where your hands will touch it. On the dashboard, in the book you carry, beside the bathroom mirror where morning begins. When pressure chants, decide now or lose everything. Let the seal slow your pulse to a human tempo. Ask the two clarifying questions. Does this align with the calling? Can I serve here without breaking integrity? If either answer is no, bless and release. Faith is not frantic. Faith is focused. When offense comes, practice the script you wrote earlier. I will not host this in my body. Return to sender. Then, if necessary, take the courageous step of a clean conversation. Speak without accusation. Name impact without editing their response. Set a boundary that does not require their agreement to be valid. Boundaries do not punish. They protect stewardship. You are not responsible for outcomes that belong to other people's choices. You are responsible for maintaining a soul that can still choose love next time. Guard your Sabbath like a city gate. Build in rhythm where production cannot buy tickets. Let screens go dim. Let errands wait their turn. Let the lawn be imperfect. Eat slowly. Walk without headphones and let the birds critique your playlist. You are not a machine in need of a better battery. You are a creature in need of a better rhythm. Rhythm puts the floor back under your feet. Rhythm makes room for wonder. Rhythm says, God is God and I am not, but I am gladly His. Return again to breath in for 4. Hold out for 6. Say it with me, plain and strong. I choose faith over fear. Let the sentence sit in the room until the furniture of worry looks slightly smaller than it did 5 minutes ago. If this word steadies you, let peace keep finding you tomorrow morning when the kettle hums and the light edges your curtain. Invite peace in the way you would a welcome friend, by name with space without apology. When the opening comes, and it will, arrive without needing to prove that you deserved it. Arrive like a person who practiced, not like a defendant who expects to be cross-examined. The door will not honor panic, it honors readiness. Ready looks like a rested mind. A clean yes, a sturdy no, a body that remembers a walk, a notebook with 3 honest lines, a heart that has practiced blessing a rival by name, hands that know how to stay open. Ready does not glare, ready glows. Before you sleep tonight, lay your hand on your chest and bless your own heart in my name. Be strong in gentleness. Be brave in quiet ways. Be steady in storms. Be light in rooms that forgot the windows. You will not fix the world overnight. You will carry love into 1 square meter of it and leave the shape of heaven there. That is not small. That is the method. Now 1 more breath with me, in for 4. Hold out for 6. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. When the morning comes, put your feet on the floor and say it again. When interruption wraps a blessing in inconvenience, say it again. When the evening asks whether anything changed, say it again and look for 1 seed you placed in the ground. Do not dig it up. Kiss your fingers, touch the soil, and trust the rain I already scheduled. Lift your eyes and steady your breath. In for 4. Hold out for 6. The door ahead is catching light. You do not need to wrench it open with panic. You need to arrive with readiness. Readiness is not noise. Readiness is a quiet yes that has learned how to stand. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. Begin today as if it were a covenant, not a coincidence. Place your hand over your heart and say out loud, yes, with your own voice, God is good. You are not flattering me. You are aligning yourself. Truth spoken aloud reorders the room inside the ribs. Let your next sentence be simple. I'm available. Then listen. Do not lunge after the first shiny thing. Availability is not frantic grasping. Availability is attentive calm. I am not testing you to watch you fail. I'm fitting you like a skilled tailor who sees the hems nobody else notices. I will not send you into a room that requires a costume I have not given you. I clothe you with what you need. There will be doors that bring you to people whose grief feels older than their faces. Sit without a stopwatch. You are not late for the life I am calling you to live. Let presence do some of the speaking for you. A regulated presence is a sanctuary with a moving roof. You do not have to fix the sky. You offer shade while we wait for the cloud to pass. When you do speak, let your sentences be bread, nourishing, simple, chewable. Words that are bread do not choke the hungry. They strengthen them to stand and walk. Do not use truth like a spear. Use it like daylight. Consider the work of your hands. The tasks you call ordinary, emails, invoices, floor sweeping, lunch packing, code commits, lesson plans, dull meetings where someone needs 1 sentence said with clarity. These are the places where integrity grows roots. Integrity is accuracy of soul. Your yes means yes when the room is impressed and when the room is bored. Your no means no when the room applauds and when the room frowns. I do not grade on applause. I bless on fidelity. Make excellence a form of love, not a performance for a panel that never actually convenes. You will have opportunities to choose gentleness over spectacle. Choose gentleness. Spectacle impresses for a moment. Gentleness stabilizes for a season. When you can lower your voice and still be heard, you are learning my craft. When you can bless the rival by name without your chest tightening, you are tasting my freedom. Bless them because blessing makes you large inside. Envy shrinks rooms until no one can breathe. Generosity opens windows until the stale air leaves on its own. Do not forget to practice small courage. Large courage arrives with trumpets. Small courage arrives like a note slid under the door. Answer the phone you dread. Send the apology that is late but honest. Return to the thing you dropped without delivering a soliloquy about your failure. Step onto the porch when storms mutter and say, "Peace, stay." Then walk back in and fold one shirt. The kingdom moves forward on the hinges of such mundane obedience. I'm not bored by your faithfulness. I'm building with it. Let the rhythms you established in waiting carry you into the opening. Breathe before you answer. Ask the 2 questions that save you from 100 regrets. Does this align with the calling I planted in me? Can I serve here without breaking integrity? If the answer is no, bless and release. You are not the savior. If the answer is yes, step through with both feet and your shoulders lowered. Wholeheartedness is economical. It saves the fuel you waste dithering at thresholds. Nurture the friendships that told you the truth before anyone else knew your name. If a platform finds you, build more chairs, not taller stairs. If a spotlight looks for you, check whether your roots drank water today. A platform without roots becomes a stage built over a sinkhole. I will not let you fall into it if you keep coming back to the well. Silence, scripture, clean work, simple kindness. Drink deeply and often. The well is never closed. When criticism comes, receive what is accurate and release what is venom. Venom wants your bloodstream. Don't offer it a vein. Say, "That's not mine to carry," and return to the work you can bless with both hands. Do not feed resentment. It is an expensive pet with sharp teeth and no loyalty. Feed gratitude. Gratitude grows friendly, watchful, and strong. Keep a jar of specifics. Thank you for that text at 7:13. Thank you for the parking spot when I was late. Thank you for the pause that saved a harsh sentence. Thank you for the way the light fell across the counter and made even the mess look merciful. Specific. Gratitude gives handles to hope so you can carry it up the stairs of a hard day. Tend your imagination like a garden behind your house. Plant psalms where nightmares want to root. Plant stories of ordinary heroism where headlines plant despair. Plant parables where cynicism tries to pour concrete. Water imagination with wonder. Look at the moon on a Tuesday and let yourself be small without feeling threatened by it. Wonder loosens the knotted rope of urgency. Wonder does not trivialize your tasks. It situates them inside a sky that is not yours to hold up. Teach your tongue to bless the future with accurate mercy. At the door, peace to this threshold. At your desk, let truth serve love here. In the car, when memory stings, we are not revisiting that without a guide. In the mirror before you leave, you are beloved beyond usefulness. This is not therapy jargon. This is covenant speech. Covenant speech makes inner weather. Make weather that allows people to grow. Keep Sabbath like a city gate shut against commerce. Let that gate stand when offers knock. Your worth will not leak out if you do nothing for a while. Rest is not an absence of significance. Rest is the presence of alignment. In rest, your nervous system remembers you are a creature, not a product. In rest, your creativity remembers it is a river, not a faucet. In rest, your compassion remembers people are not projects. In rest, your faith remembers I am God, and you're allowed to enjoy that fact. Give in ways that do not return to you with your name attached. Anonymous generosity polishes the inside of your ribcage until pride cannot find a grip. Give an hour to someone who cannot repay it. Give silence to someone who needs their own words to find their feet. Give credit to someone who made your idea possible. Give attention to someone who has been trained to expect none. You will begin to taste a freedom that applause cannot purchase. When the past tries to draft you back into old wars, answer with a boundary and a blessing. I cannot go there, but I wish you healing. If they demand a debate, do not audition for the role of their sparring partner. You are not responsible for outcomes that belong to other people's choices. You are responsible for maintaining a soul that can still choose love next time. Keep your soul like a house with doors that lock and a porch light that still turns on. If fear insists on a seat, give it one, at the back, with a small juice and no microphone. You are not trying to evict every trembling from your body. You are learning to lead it where you're going. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is fear that learned how to walk while being told the truth. Tell fear the truth. In the next 33 days, I am with you. Choose faith over fear. The sentence is not magic, it is muscle. Use it until it remembers you. Pay attention to the rehearsals disguised as interruptions. A delayed flight becomes a conversation that needed a witness. A glitch becomes a humility class you didn't enroll in, but needed to pass. A closed door becomes a hallway where you see a painting you would have missed. None of this is efficient. All of this is formative. I'm not a manager of spreadsheets. I am the composer of providence. I am not wasteful. Even the scraps will feed someone. When praise comes, do not store it in your bloodstream. Filter it through gratitude and let it irrigate the field instead. Say thank you, lay the compliment on the altar, and keep your hands free for work. When blame arrives, do not drag it into your bedroom. Hang it on the hook of discernment and examine it in daylight. You do not sleep with accusations. You bring them to me and ask for translation. Often they say more about the sender's storm than your sky. Make a simple practice at thresholds. Pause. Lower your shoulders, soften your gaze. Name the person in front of you as an image bearer. Beloved. Even if they have forgotten, you will find that arguments lose weight and conversations gain fruit. If you must confront as a gardener who hopes for harvest, not as a judge who craves a verdict. The world is not your courtroom. Your calling is not a robe. Your tools are seed and water and patient hands. Teach your children of body, of spirit, of work. That apology is a bridge, not a pit. Show them by crossing it. Teach them that generosity is not a party trick for the wealthy. It is a habit for the willing. Show them by sharing the last piece of bread without announcing it. Teach them that worship is not only a song on Sunday, it is the way we label the jars in the pantry and sweep the porch and answer the email that could have waited but would have wounded if it had. Show them with your small faithfulnesses until their eyes learn to recognize heaven's handwriting in the margins. When sorrow returns, and it will, let it sit, then give it a chore. You may stand by the sink while I wash. You may walk with me while I water the plants. You may ride beside me while I drive to the appointment. Sorrow that is given a role becomes less likely to ransack the house. Do not weaponize Scripture against your own sadness. Let Scripture sit with you in silence and then sing over you when your strength returns. I do not despise your tears. I count them. I do not rush your grief. I companion it. Remember the seal of this season. Whisper it. Trace it on the fogged mirror after a shower. Write it with your fingertip on the table where you pay bills. Let it be the thread through your days. Not because you are superstitious, but because you are remembering. The soul needs handles, and I have placed one in your palm. When you feel scattered, grip it. When you feel stalled, grip it. When you feel triumphant, grip it, so triumph does not carry you away from humility's field. Let your craft, whatever it is, become prayer with tools in hand. Carve truth into wood without splinters. Stitch mercy into fabric without knots. Type sentences that hold strangers like a porch swing. Mix colors that make people breathe slower. Balance budgets like you are stopping leaks in a neighbor's roof during rain. Crunch numbers without crushing people. Manage teams the way a shepherd counts sheep, by names and limps and temperaments, not just totals. Excellence is love made visible under pressure. Keep your promises. Not the flamboyant ones that sound like fireworks, but the small, renewable ones that build a road. I will show up again. I will tell you the truth. I will not disappear when it gets unglamorous. These make covenant soil. Covenant soil makes harvest predictable. Predictable goodness is not boring, it is safety. Safety is where children laugh, and elders rest, and neighbors stop locking everything because trust lives on the block again. Return again and again to breath. In for 4. Hold out for 6. Let the exhale carry the debris of the hour. Let the inhale remind you that oxygen arrives without invoices. You are not alone in the room you are in. I am not far. I'm not busy. I'm not calculating if you are worth this minute. I'm here because I want to be with you. Beloved, you are next, not to be devoured by attention, but to be entrusted with an assignment that fits your scars and your songs. If this word found you at the precise sliver of time where your resolve was thin, receive it as weather, not as a slogan. Stand in it. Lift your face to the softness. Let it soak the crusted places until tenderness returns. Tenderness will not make you breakable. It will make you accurate. Hardness misreads rooms. Tenderness sees details and chooses wisely. Now, before we close this day, bless what is within your reach. Bless your home, the hinges, the windows, the table where elbows thud and laughter spills. Bless your work, the keyboard, the mop, the steering wheel, the steady hands. Bless your people by name, especially the ones who do not hear their names spoken with kindness often enough. Bless your enemies in faith, not because they deserve your sentence, but because blessing unhooks your heart from their hooks. Bless the city that holds your stories and the strangers whose choices ripple into your own. And hear me say the sentence that has anchored this season. In the next 33 days, I'm with you. Choose faith over fear. If you forget everything else, remember that. If you remember everything, remember it first. Choose faith in waiting and in running, in quiet rooms and crowded ones, in praise and in blame, in the first light and the late hour. Choose it like you choose a coat when weather turns, deliberate, practiced, grateful. Before you sleep, lay your hand on your chest once more. Be strong in gentleness. Be brave in quiet ways. Be steady in storms. Be light in rooms that forgot the windows. Close your eyes, knowing you are beloved beyond usefulness. My affection is not parceled by the size of your assignment. Selection for a task is not greater love. It is different stewardship. Whether your work tomorrow is crowned or hidden, touched by cameras or by dishwater, I will be there and it will count. Now go and love where you are. Serve with your gifts. Learn when you are tested. Celebrate when others are lifted. Be a faithful neighbor to the chosen and the unnoticed alike. The door ahead is bright enough. You don't have to squint in fear. Walk toward it with the pace of peace. Open it with the strength of a practiced yes. And do it now. Open this before it passes you by.